Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the HSBG podcast. I'm your host. Honestly, we're your hosts, Educator Collins and Shadybunny, and we're here with our 122nd episode. Wow, it's been so long. Got a really good one, lots of duels stuff, but as we all know, Shadybunny, how you doing?
Very important. Thank you. Thank you. Starting to feel left out. I am doing great, Collins. I guess I'll do a little announcement for the podcast listeners. We did miss an extra week, for which I'm sorry, but I was a little busy. I got my second daughter was born, so don't don't take it too hard, guys. Nothing personal. But we're back on track.
It was
Here,
full
ready to go.
personal. There, he's been planning this for months.
Yeah. So yes, years actually. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
All right. And
very
how you been, Collins?
I did not no children, so
No
that's but
children.
it's been good for me. I've been chilling. Really cool to hear about the duels announcements. I think that's going to be fun for everyone, and by everyone I mean the particular people that like playing together. You know, those type of folks. So fun for us, and
Oh yeah.
hopefully many others. But yeah, should be cool. We have lots of duel specific content to review, so that's going to be interesting. I think we've already talked about some of it, but I'm down to get in the nitty gritty. What are your thoughts on some of these cards?
This
And
is
you hear
fun, yeah, because I've done a review, you've done a review, right? So
Yeah.
this should go pretty fast, Copium, or not. But it'll be fun now to get your take on how powerful things are. All right, let's dive right in then. So there's 4 new heroes. We'll start, well, technically 5, but one is
Share
pretty
your
much
screen,
packaged.
Shady, so we can be on the same page. Though I'm
Right. Let me see. Can I do that and still get your camera? I guess I should, right?
1 second.
Oh, maybe not.
Oh.
1 second. You're on the bottom. Right in the bottom. Let me share that and see if I can still get you. So now I'm sharing my screen, but how do I get Collins on here? I'm not sure if I can do that. I don't think I can do that, Collins. All right. It's fine. Might just leave this in. Hey guys, we're just waiting. Collins picked up the phone, took a call. While I am being very.
I muted myself. That's what's going on. Okay.
Yes, but you took your call, right?
Yeah. I'm done.
All right, that's why you muted. Yeah, I don't think I can do share screen and have you on my screen.
Yeah, you would have to change. So what's happening is that the Windows changes, right? So you'd have to move the window to accommodate an extra screen, which you haven't done. So I guess it's fine not to do that.
I hear you. That is, you're talking about language, Collins. It could be done, but we are not going to. So very good. I could send you these, but if you have,
I'm down. I'm
right.
also looking at it through the Twitch stream, so.
Right.
It's not too bad.
I think that works, right? Because we're It's not like we're doing like.
All
right, now we're switching to tier 2. Without waiting for the 3-second delay. Let's dive right in, baby. Let's go. What do you think about this card, Cons? I need your full input right now. All right. Stop stalling. Okay, cool. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the heroes. The first package we have lined up is Cho'Gall. Right, so that's 2 heroes, but effectively 1 because you pretty much always pick them as a pair. So I guess Collins, you can go over what does this do and what's your take on it?
So what interesting to me is like how likely are you getting this if you don't communicate with your teammate? You know what I mean? Like, is there going to be like, hey, the other guy picked Gall, you know, like, hey, the other, like, is there going to be some notification?
Yeah.
Or is it like, oh, one of you picked Gall? Nope, try again. You know, kind of thing. or like, oh, you one of you picked the other heroes, you know, now you're getting a random of the alternative. Like I wonder, I hope there's some kind of notification where it's like, even if you're not like talking, you can communicate like, hey, you know, I want this or something like that. So that would be good for some cases. In terms of the hero itself, I do think this is pretty good. Obviously, we saw it in the BlizzCon
Well,
last year.
let's first say what it does, right?
Oh, right. It's a passive. Whenever you play a golden minion, both you and your teammate gets a triple reward, and you can only activate those 3 times. So the first 3 times you play a golden minion from either side, both players get the triple reward.
And when you receive the triple reward, that's your level. So
I
if
believe
you
so,
if you're on
yes.
tier 5, you pull a 6, but if your buddy was still on 3, he gets a 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would make sense as well.
And why that is good is that, hey, someone sets up a triple or gets a triple, you can talk to your teammate. Your teammate can be like, oh, maybe I should heavy level in preparation for this event that's happening where we both get a true reward for free. You know, I don't have to spend the 3 gold to buy the triple or even spend the 9 gold to get the whole setup. So, and I get a free triple reward. That's going to be really good. So this was just a very powerful ability that they nerfed because it was too powerful, because I believe there wasn't a limit in BlizzCon, and a lot of people that played this ended up winning because it's very good. So uh, makes sense to me. And I do think the limiter of 3 isn't that bad, because usually you'll get your biggest spikes early in the game, and then once you have your setup, like the triple reward doesn't really matter as much. So like getting a free early 5 and early 6 can be what you need to coast the rest of the game. So this just seems good to me. It does have low armor, which could be a concern if that is problematic, but still seems like a very solid choice if you definitely communicate with your teammate. There's a lot of like communicate with your teammate heroes and minions, and this is definitely one of them. Where like if you're not
Yes.
talking, you just give your
In the duo mode, it is very important that you are playing together with your teammate. That's true.
I mean,
It's funny. It sounds stupid, but it's a real concern where playing solo is not the same, right, as playing duos. So that's a very different
I
thing.
mean, people play League and they mute everyone, so it's like,
Yes, and they're really not as good at the game as people that are communicating and playing properly together.
I don't know.
I do. They're professional players and they're on voice together.
Oh yeah,
They do a lot better.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like I'll put it like this: the cap is where people talk to each other. Like that's the cap, right? You're not getting to the cap muting everyone. But the way how I see this is that it's very, very good. Right? I think it's a super strong ability, and you can tell by Blizzard nerfing it and giving 6 armor. That's Gallywix level. Right, so it's Gallywix level armor, and they had to nerf the ability, and I think it's still going to be too strong, because the way how I can see this going down is that you pop a triple on 7 gold either, and then you both get a 4-drop, and then now you both have a 4-drop, so you win fights, and then you win fights, and then you set yourself up where probably one person tiers to 5 and grabs the 6-drop reward, while the other one spends the turn on 4,
sets up another
the other one, essentially, if you're both leveling, only one of you, well, unless you get lucky and you have enough economy, you can actually level to 5 on 9 gold and buy a triple, right? But that's tough. That's a lot of money. You need a lot of economy stuff early. You need like shell collector triple and shit. But you might get that. But I think realistically what happens is on 9 gold, one person goes to 5, the other person cashes in a triple on 4. So he gets a 5, the other person gets the 6. And then you go into combat on 9 gold with a 5-drop and a 6-drop. That's already bonkers. And then from then on, the person on 5 then rolls and gets stronger. The person that was on 4 goes to 5, and you kind of just cover each other. It's got a little bit like military shit. One guy shoots, the other guy runs, right? That's what you do, right? One guy says, okay, I'll get strong, you level. And then now you're both on 5 pretty early. You have a 6-drop, you have a 5-drop, you have one ability left. You triple again, right? Pretty soon, one of you will. Then you get a 6-drop, both of you. I just see that getting out of hand so incredibly quickly.
Yeah, and being able to like someone's gonna hit something good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you look at a 6-drop, someone's gonna find the right composition to play that game, and then you defer to that person. Like, here, this is what I need, sir. Like,
I need that brand. I'm gonna need that brand.
yeah,
I see you roll the brand.
yeah,
That is true. You have 2 turns in 1 turn, right? So
yeah.
rolling for brand now suddenly became a lot more viable. Like you get a 1-person triples into the Tethys and is like, all right, I'm gonna need your shit. Please feed me. Get the engine up and running.
Feed me, yeah.
Yeah,
I can
feed
hear
me,
this.
please. I'm gonna need 3. I'm gonna need 3 swaps this turn. Come on, let's go.
Hey,
But I
come
mean,
on.
that's the thing. If you set someone up, then he can pay that back tenfold
for
later
sure.
on. It's like, oh, here is a golden matador. Just put that in the portal. I don't need it. My board is too good. I can't like. I've just played my 3rd golden touch this turn. Here is another golden minion. I don't need it. Take it off my hands. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's yeah, this is I'm so looking forward to this. This is so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, hey Beater's in the chat. What's up, man?
Hey, man.
Did I swap the heroes out, or is this still the wrong one, right? Just getting the other heroes up on screen, guys.
How dare you take this much time?
That's not the right. Yeah, I had to do this on stream as well. I have one that's wrong, but it's like the wrong hero power.
These look correct. Oh no, they're swapped, right?
Yeah, those are swapped. That's fine. I have them.
You can show it, and I'll just I'll talk about the fixed version. Or even if they're swapped, we could just we could
Yeah, I'll
say
just
it,
put
like,
them on
until
there.
you
It's
get
not
the
worth
right
the
one.
fix. Nah, it's not worth the fix. It's fine. We'll just leave them up. So essentially, Gloop, they go one
The
left,
nameless
right?
one, yeah.
So Goya is this one. Goya goes to the right. Nameless one goes to the left. Gloop goes to the left. That's essentially the switch here. So Nameless one is start of the game. Copy your teammate's hero power. The way how I looked at this was pretty much just Finley, but you know what you're getting. So I just thought this was a really good option to have. And you can pass, right? When you see what your teammate is offered, you're like, no thanks. Or it would make sense to do 2 of that same one.
Yeah, I think once again, you need to talk to your teammate and it's like, what are you picking? And what I like about this is it has 12 armor, and that is not standard. So some of the like really strong heroes have like 6 armor, 7 armor, right? You get the same hero power, but with 12 armor, that could be pretty engaging. So I think, based on what your opponent is picking, this can be a very useful thing. Yeah, and I like you fixing that, by the way.
Yeah, I just realized it's
Yeah.
now chat can stay. There we go. All right, so yeah, not that much to talk about. I think there's some cool combos you can do with 2 the same, but for the most part, I think this is just a nice option to have. And then if your teammate has a really, really good hero power to copy, you're essentially getting a 12 armor, 6 gold hero power or 6 armor hero power. So that's always a nice deal. Then Floop or Gloop, Glorious Gloop, choose a friendly minion, start off combat, transform into your teammate's highest tier minion. This one I'm pretty curious. What was your take on this?
I don't like this one. Generally, I feel like early game it doesn't do that much for you, and usually late game you have better abilities to have. So I'm not sold on this. And also, like, highest tier isn't always going to be the best to get. Like, if I believe this used to be like highest power or something, but they changed it. So you could have your highest tier be your strongest minion, but that's not always going to be the case. So you have to be like hyper aware, and that kind of changes your game plan. I don't want to hear about that might change your game plan like an awkward way. So I'm not super sold on this one. It also has high armor, which generally means
This is a bad indicator. It's bad news. Yeah, I said it was going to be pretty situational, where I can see this being fantastic with Foe Reaper, where you jack up a Foe Reaper and then copy Foe Reaper, and then you keep for the rest is just tier 5s, right? And then you just one guy goes massive Foe Reaper and boom, you have 2 massive Foe Reapers.
Yeah, what I did say that this looks to me very minion type specific, where you have to look at the minion types and be like, oh, the higher tier minions are my carry minions. Okay, I can pick this kind of thing. Where normally if you're like, oh, we're playing what doesn't have, like, maybe Murlocs, I guess Murlocs don't have like super high tier heavy cost minions, right? Like, oh, I don't.
Yeah,
like,
you'd have Coral Murgler, but that doesn't do as much, right? Because it won't adapt the same on your board.
Yeah, so
yeah, I think for the most part this is a skip, but I think you can break the game with this in certain setups where, well, not break the game, but it's like very duo specific where you can make this way better than it should be, or way better than it would be in most people's hands, right? If you put it in a certain duo that has the game plan, and you essentially, I think for Reaper, like the gloop player feeds the teammate all the stuff, like for instance the Divine Shield or so, and then they just like make a really, really strong tier 6, and then you keep copying that tier 6. So if I'm looking forward to trying this at least a little bit.
Yeah, we're trying everything for sure.
Does it keep enchantments? It really should. Yeah,
it has to.
But it's just combat, right? It just copies for combat. If it doesn't copy enchantments, then why is this a hero? Get this out of my game, right? Like,
wow, I made a 6/8 for Reaper.
Transform into a 4/12 Caligos. Let's go, baby. That's definitely why I have hero power.
Get me out of here.
I mean,
it has to keep enchantments. Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you for sure that it keeps it, but if it doesn't, then I'm not trying this. No.
Now the question is, let's say you, hear me out. I'm cooking here.
All right.
Let's say you play Terragosa, and then you hero power this with Terragosa. Terragosa keeps all enchantments, so I'm just like, does that work?
I don't think it works because it transforms into that minion, so it's no longer Terragosa.
Boo, Shady. I'm cooking.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think the text on Terragosa is gone because it transforms into that minion, right?
It would be fun, and then it would be broken, and then we'd never hear it again. But
yeah. No, Beater in the chat is saying that it'd be really broken, but I think the issue is that you can only run one 6-drop then, or only run one 5-drop as well, Beater. So it's gonna be tough to get going. Like, it's gonna be tough to set up. But yeah, once you have the minion, it's fantastic. But it's just tough because you have to, like, your teammate is essentially heavily restricted.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are games where this is very good. I just don't think, like, if you have this every game, you're going to be happy with it.
All right. Well, Beater says it 100% doesn't keep enchantments, so that's fair. We can check. We'll check. Maybe we're vastly underestimating this, but like how strong it would be. But whatever. We'll. Anyway, I think we're about done talking about this hero anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because we'd have to verify.
We'll find out.
We will know for the next episode. If you're listening to this, we will know. All right. Okay, so the last one here is Madame Goya. For 8 armor, you get a 2 gold hero power. Pass a non-golden minion. Now, very important for this is that you can pass from the shop, which makes it a good hero power as opposed to something like, why would I ever cast this, right? It's kind of like Cookie. When some people say, like, I didn't know you could eat the shop, right? They eat their own minions with Cookie. They're like, oh, this is trash. So, yeah, if you would only pass your own minions with this, it'd be trash. But you could steal from the shop. So what are your thoughts on this?
So initially, I had some comments afterwards of people like talking about it that somewhat changed my mind. Initially, I thought it was going to be okay, but there are spells that do this exact same thing. And it's like, do you want a hero power that is basically a spell that you can pick up on will? Like, is this worth enough? But thinking about it more and having some comments, there are some good use cases of it. Just using it every turn is fine, just because you are saving essentially 2 gold if you were gonna pass it. Now, you might not always pass what you target, which might mean like you're still paying 2 gold for a 3 gold minion usually. So that's pretty good. Another thing that's pretty good is you can do something like play a battle cry, target that battle cry that you played, and then your opponent also gets to use that battle cry since you can target your own minion. So you can also like say, hey, I have something really good that I'd rather give to my opponent that I'm already using. Let me just play it. Like something like that Murloc, it gets plus 3/3 when it's passed. You might just want to say, hey, I'll pass it to you. I'll use it and then I'll pass it the next turn, that kind of thing. So I do think there are a decent amount of use cases that make it feel pretty good. So I'm down to play it and see how it feels. But my initial impression was like, maybe it's okay, but there are a lot of like the spell that does it, and there's also like a spell craft that does this. So you have a lot of other ways of doing this effect if you really want it later on.
I think that this is actually quite strong. The reason is not so much like, oh, now I can pass. It's just it'll make for way smoother curves. It's like Zarella, but you get,
love that. You love that.
Yeah, like, but because what does that result into? It results into faster leveling, more pairs, more chance for triples. It's just it's the reason why something like Omu has 8 armor. It's the reason why something like Zarella doesn't have, like 20 armor. It's like these heroes just make it. They make your turns just nicer, right? You won't have to sell an extra unit. Your 5 gold turn is clean, where you just buy a unit, you pass a unit. Maybe on the 6 gold turn, you sell something level. The level is 4 gold. You pass something for 2 gold. Your teammate gets the unit. You might not lose now because they have an extra unit, yada, yada. So other heroes don't have those options.
You got to be careful about like your opponent has like 9 cards to play while you have like 4,
Your teammate, right? Your teammate.
Yeah. That's what I mean, yeah.
This loses value once you're at a point where you have 4 units and they're holding 2 cards. Because they don't have void space, so that's true.
That's what I envision. Like, yeah, okay, I play this, I pass, here you go, and I play this, I pass, here you go, and this guy's just like, okay, well, I'm full board, and you have 3 cards. Like, like I guess next turn I'm passing back, right? But then you kind of lose some with that. But I guess maybe it's like you pay 2 gold, pass some cards back. Maybe it's like not too horrible because it's essentially if you pass it back, it's 3 gold by a minion. So it's not horrible.
I mean, it is horrible. 3 gold by a minion is like, so buy a minion, right? But what it means is that you can use that on, say, the 5 gold turn, and then on the 8 gold turn, when your teammate was going to level and float a gold, he can pass it back. Something like that, right? It can do that. So, yeah, the advantage is...
not playing their cards.
Yeah, the advantage is that they get to have just cleaner turns, and when there is floated gold, you can throw it up.
Yeah. Still sounds good.
Yeah. All right.
And we're not even talking about the things I said. Chase still likes it, so that's a good sign.
No. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. Let me grab the tier 1s. Yeah, so like I mentioned, I think I typed it in the chat even. The hero powers needed to move, but it wasn't worth grabbing the other, because it's a podcast for the main part, right? So we're talking about it.
It's not a podcast.
It's not a podcast.
It's a video format. Yeah. There's a whole video section podcast.
It's not a podcast, Copium. Yeah. We wouldn't be nerds doing podcasts. What is this?
Not in this day and age.
I just learned today that Trusty Pup is not a DUOS card. Even though
there's two. Also the
promo Drake.
The promo Drake, yeah.
And the dragon buffer thing on tier 2. So we'll cover that. But so this one we're gonna ignore Trusty Pup. They did lie to us, and how this is how.
No, we can still talk about the card.
No, we can't. He's not a DUOS card. Get the fuck out.
It's not in DUOS at all.
No, it is in DUOS, but it's not DUOS specific. Today is DUOS specific. All right.
I was like, wait a minute, you do.
All right, well, let's talk about Passenger first. Passenger is a 1-drop. It's a 2/3 stat line. The first time your team passes each turn, gain +2/+2. What are we thinking, Collins?
I think if we both buy turn 1, I'm okay. I'm happy. Give it to me. Like if one of us buys a turn 1, I'm less happy, but I'll begrudgingly be like, fine. It depends on what hero powers we have and stuff like that.
Right. So let's say you don't roll economy. What would you buy over this?
On 1?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I first have to know all the cards.
Sure, but let's assume just like broad strength. What's in right now, right? You got like Rockpool, you got Imprisoner and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really better than this if you're gonna.
Yeah, that was my point, right? I think you just buy this because, we'll see on tier 2. There's Wanderer Cho. You might have a hero like Goya, right? So passing sort of just happens. Right, that's what they want to incentivize. There's all kinds of mechanics that just pass.
What if we play the game and it's like I never pass?
Never pass. It's like the no pass challenge.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't seem that good. If that happens,
yeah, I think passing just happens. So I like this. I think this is strong because even if you pass one time, you get a 4/5, right? And then you will probably pass like 2 more times or so at least before you sell this. So I
This
think
card
this is
is
good.
better the stronger your teamwork is. That's why Shady's like, wow, this is OP.
Yeah, I mean, calculating your gold and all that. I think it's good. I think it's strong.
Yeah, I hear you.
I
The argument
yeah.
that there's nothing better on one, I think, is very clear.
Right. Yeah. I'm not saying you go out of your way to buy this later, but I think turn 1, tier 1, you buy this for sure. At least that's it. All right. Well, we'll mention Trusty Pup because it was in my presentation, but it's not going to be a DUOS specific card, so it's going to be in. So, for instance, Passenger or Trusty Pup might be a choice, but it's not DUOS
You don't
specific.
have the DUOS tag, so we can't talk about you, puppy. Go out. You
Get
know,
the fuck out.
we're like,
There
what
we
is
go.
this?
Go
What?
ahead.
I'm talking about Trusty
Off
Pup.
my screen. Bam. He's already gone.
If anything happens to him, I'm.
All right. I'm leaving. I'm quitting. Let's
But
see.
I do think it's pretty good, like early game, but you know, it doesn't seem like crazy. But maybe there's other beast synergies that make it work.
I didn't like it. I thought, I mean, a 1/3 that gains 1 attack when it gets attacked.
It's a 2/3 in a lot of cases.
Well,
Like,
2/3, but take damage turn 1 for it, right? Because it gets hit.
well, I mean, as long as it's not, you're not fighting into a 3/2, which isn't that common on turn 1. I think you're going to
Right.
have like
Yeah,
multiple
we would
hits.
have to see exactly what's in and what's... Okay, so depending on how often this gets one shot, you might win me back.
Yeah, I don't see it getting one shot most of the time. Like if you get one shot, then yeah. But
Yeah.
there's not a lot of 3/2s.
Also have to see how much beast synergy there will be, right? Like how much... Like, do you have an effect that rewards you for gaining attack or something like that? Or, you know, something that complements attack gaining? I don't know. That's... All right.
That was kind of my thoughts as well.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Hard to evaluate in a vacuum, but fine if it doesn't get one shot too often. All right. We got the tier 2s on screen, but we'll ignore the dragon because the dragon is also not just DUOS specific.
No, we talk about the dragon first. Get out of the way.
Talk about the dragon first. I thought it was meh. I think it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, the synergy dependent, of course, but on average,
Yeah.
meh.
It's a 2/3/5, which is fine, but not like I'm not going out of my way to really play that because it doesn't help you find the game plan. You know, unless your game plan is like Terra goes to dragons, but even then, like this isn't helping you do that really. So it just seems like yeah, you pick it for tempo, maybe for super scout. But once again, you're playing with a teammate, so what are you doing? Like what? Why are you scared?
Yeah, your team is gonna win anyway. But I mean, sometimes it's going to be the best for a double buy, right? Where you buy the dragon package. That's how it ends up on your board.
Ooh, if you buy 2 drakes, it just turns into a 4/7. Yeah.
Give your leftmost, yeah.
Yeah. I don't love that. No.
Oh yeah, Beater makes a point about warping. If it gives warping Wind Fury, that's nutty. That's true. Yeah,
but
Wind
that's
Fury
like
warping.
late game.
Ba-bam,
That's like
ba-bam.
late game tech. Like
Yeah, but
worth
it's kind of like the ping dragon, right? Where you would roll
Yeah.
for it for the end game.
Yeah.
You might roll for
Yeah,
this
yeah.
for your Wind Fury warping.
I guess I could see it, right? Because if you have like Divine Shield, 200 attack, Warp Wing with Wind Fury, like yeah,
That's
okay.
pretty good.
That's
pretty good. All right.
Yeah.
So
All your minions die so that your Warp Wing keeps attacking. I like it.
you just feed. Well, my dragon boards is 2
Uh-huh.
warp wings and then 5 taunts.
5 taunts.
I taunt everything. I don't
Yeah, I
give a
knew
shit.
you were gonna say that.
Yeah, I just protect the warp wings and then it wins so often. It's good. It's real good.
Yeah.
Okay, so our spell on tier 2, our first DUOS specific spell is Recruitment Program. Get a random minion of your teammate's most common type and then pass it.
Seems great to me.
That's
Like,
Chef's Choice for DUOS, and Chef's Choice
it's
is
1 gold.
great.
It's legit 1 gold. Give your teammate a random minion of your most common type.
It's kind of it's 1 gold in the same way that Anomaly is 1 gold. It's 1 gold if you wanted to pass, right? Anomaly is the same thing where Anomaly gives you a gold if you wanted to roll. So I look at that as sort of a shop giving you like a voucher, be like, this is $500. You just have to spend it on shit we want, right? It's like, well, it's not really
it's the
$500.
most common type, as long as it made sense to buy it. Like,
Right. Yeah. No, I think it's so. I just think it's a little unfair to say it's one gold because at that stage of the game, you'd be fine having a minion yourself, right? It's not like, I had to pass this, so I definitely saved the gold, right? It's like, well, I definitely needed to pass this, but it's fine. It's good.
Does my teammate have 6 or less cards? Okay, let's go.
Yeah. But then you have the issue that you fill their board up faster than your board, right? So then they might have to pass back to like balance it out. So
I'm down.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours. It's fine. We good. Yeah. Well, let's do it. All right, but no, good card. Great card. I just wanted to say, like, for me, it's 2 gold. I don't count the gold for passing because I think at that stage of the game, because it's also random, right? It's not like late game you're transferring a specific minion. Like, I do use Chef's Choice in the late game sometimes to like fish for Beast, fish for Goldrune, fish for Banana or something. So we might do that as well.
That's gonna happen for sure. You're like, oh my god, I just need a specific beast. I'm like, I got you.
I got you. It's like, I got some programs for you. Just keep throwing them at me. I'm like, hey, are we hitting? Like, no, it's just mana savers. No? These suck cons. What the fuck? Okay.
Spend all my gold for that.
All right, you wanna take over? You wanna go for the next one?
Next up, we have Generous Geomancer. So Death Rattle. It's a 2-drop Death Rattle. You and your teammate each get a blood gem. So it's a 2/1 Death Rattle. Pretty bad stats, but you do gain 2 blood gems, 1 for you, 1 for your teammate. I do think this is a little bit more specific because I have slightly lower values for Death Rattles and similar type cards because you're not always going to fight first, and usually it feels like someone's going to be strong. The way a lot of these games are, you'll probably be pumping someone. So if you are like the weaker person, then maybe your teammate just full clears and then you don't get this effect. So I'm not super high on it, but I mean, and blood gems aren't always like game winning. It depends if you're building into that particular composition. So that's my thought.
Wow. I did not really think of that, but I think by the time you start full clearing, you don't really care about this anymore. If that makes sense. I think let's be honest. I feel like you're not full clearing before like at least 9 gold, maybe 10 gold, right? What kind of a board do you need to have to start full clearing? Or like, it's 7 gold, baby. I'm killing everything.
So I'm thinking about what the meta looks like, and I'm thinking like very likely people are going to be like, okay, you're the leader here, and I'm just like casual fighting, right? So I think there's going to be some cases where the opponent's boards are much weaker than you expect, and you just like, oh, like that second board was nothing. I won anyways, that kind of thing. So I'm not sure you're always gonna get this up proc, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like,
but starting what turn would you think a full clear?
When people level to 3,
When people level to 3.
Go straight to tier 3.
So 7 gold, you start full clearing potentially. I don't know. That's early, man.
Dude,
like how much better?
Have you seen the true drops? We've got Paper Drake coming out, dude. That thing is gonna wipe. Like, you have someone running double Geomancer. Like they're not doing anything.
All right, I think that full clearing is not really going to be an issue for this card early on.
Sure.
So I still like it. I don't think it's bad. I think a Sunbake per turn is fine. But yeah, it's an option.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we shall see. And obviously for day 1, and it's like, because this is another thing, guys. Because it's the first season of Duos ever, there is no hidden MMR. Everybody starts at 0, which is probably like 4,000 internal. So if you've ever wanted to play against your favorite streamers, day 1 of Duos is the time to do it, because you're all the exact same MMR.
That's never like that. That sounds fun in your head, by the way. Like against your streamer, sounds fun in your head, and then you're like, damn, they're kind of good.
I mean, if you could play basketball with Michael Jordan, you would lose 1,000 times out of 1,000. And how many people would say, I'd play with Michael Jordan. Let's go.
Underrating.
No, I'm. You're like,
I'm rating fairly my skills.
No, I think that's, people want to, even if you have little to no chance of winning, people want to play with the people they look up to, right? It's
Sure.
like
That's fair.
it's fun. It's fun. It's cool.
Well,
Alright.
I like the winning part, so you know.
Yeah, you'd be like, I'll Q dodge, right? I don't want to. I'll Q dodge MJ. I don't want to go up against.
I'm good. You know.
All right, sure.
Let me win in peace.
Okay, cool. So then our next minion is the Friendly Saloon Keeper, a 2-drop. It's a neutral, no type. Battlecry, your teammate gets a golden coin. And important, the stat line, it's a 3/4.
It's a 3/4. What the?
It's a spider tank.
What is that? I'm buying this every time I
Yes.
see this sucker.
This is great in the early game. Oh my god. And with Bran later on, ka-ching, ta-ding, feed your teammate. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds. I mean, it just seems free. Like I don't see why you wouldn't buy it. Like I don't get it. What's the downside?
Yeah,
Oh,
I guess the downside sometimes is that the gold is going to be awkward on your teammate, and it's like doesn't have a tie. But early game, you always buy it. It's so good.
Sometimes you have to rely on Shady to do stuff.
Ah, that's the worst. Yeah, when Collins is talking about wiping boards, he's talking about himself. He's like, oh no, now I have to like rely on Shady. One of my minions died. No. Okay, and then lastly on tier 2, we have Wanderer Cho, which is a 2-drop, 4/3 neutral. And the effect is 1 pass each turn is free.
Seems pretty good.
Really good. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I think I like that 1-drop a lot.
Of the passenger, yeah, I knew it because you're like passenger into Cho. Let's go. I'm
passenger into Cho, and you're just like you do that 3 times or so, you're suddenly working with a 9 health unit already. That's pretty silly.
Yeah, this seems solid.
Yeah, very very cool cards. The Saloon Keeper to Cho definitely stand out. And I guess recruitment program. I'd say out of these 4, the Geomancer is definitely the weaker one, but like it's okay. But these 3 are really nice.
That's what I'm saying. You know.
Yeah, I'm comparing it to regular 2-drops.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you. I would still pick it up, but when I'm comparing, it's like,
yeah, to these guys, yeah, he's definitely a little below their level. He's not on their level yet. All right, cool. Tier 3. The first one here is the Orchestra Conductor. Tier 3 neutral battle cry. Give a minion +2/+2. Improve your team's future Orchestra Conductors, which presumably means that your next Orchestra Conductor now does 4/4, and so on and so on.
Yeah. I desperately want this to be good. Yeah.
Pogo's
it sounds
mom
so
vibes.
fun. Yeah. I'm just, the scary thing is the meta going to be slow enough that this can actually scale in a reasonable way? And I know what the usual answer to that is, but it looks fun to work out, and the fact that maybe both players can buff it might mean like, if you both, like if I talk to Shady and say like, we are buying this every time we see it, like maybe that type of teamwork would make this be like late game, this is a +20/20, and you're like, oh, this is actually kind of good for 2 gold. But that is a question, like, can you survive? Is that worth it compared to some of the other game plans that you're going to have in duos? Because you have to keep in mind, like, duos is going to be more scaling or more power creep than traditional game modes or even stuff like quests, like, probably. So that is the concern, like, is this enough?
For me, the only way you're going to play this is with like a reborn Rylak with Titus and Bran, and just like giga juice it so that it literally goes to 100, like where you just buff for 100 or more. And then in the combat, it'll just go like ding 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 ding. Right? Because it's like when you get critical mass on Rylak, like you have Rylak, it's golden, it's a reborn, there's a Titus, there's a chicken, or it's just like going like ding 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 ding. That's actually tempo as well, because the Orchestra Conductor is just buffing. Oh, it's buffing a minion. Oh, it can buff the enemy team.
Yeah.
No. Oh, that's suddenly a lot less good.
Well. Okay. If you keep the buffing for like the next turn, so you buff your opponent like 100, but then you start drawing like 50 plus 50 orchestras, like probably still
Yeah, but then there's always the risk you just get owned.
owned. Yeah.
Right, like anytime you go into a fight, you have a good chance to lose if the orchestra goes.
So you just do it till you're under 15, and then you sell that sucker, and
But that feels
hope you draw
bad.
50 orchestras afterwards. Yeah, I see what the issue is. So you'd rather
Yeah.
this be you give a friendly minion.
It would have
But
to
then
be
I
a
feel like
friendly
that's
minion.
broken. Like
Once it's next to Relic is broken, yeah. But honestly, that's the same with Felemental. Like Felemental next to Relic is Giga broken. That's the strongest build we have in the meta right now. Because you make your tavern like 200, 300. I've seen that 400, and people just start buying.
Why does Relic still exist? I honestly,
Relic is nutty, right? So we don't know if Relic is gonna stay, but if Relic stays, this is the immediate thing I was thinking about, because it feels like you can't just be like, and now I buy my 4th orchestra from the shop and play it, and like, I mean, what are you doing, right? Like when you're competing as people that are like, I'm Infinite Pirates, I've got like 500 Murlocs. What are you doing? +8 on my guys. Just leave me alone, right? It's like,
I want to do it.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think you can play it as the honest way. I think you need to add some performance enhancing Rylac.
I'll make it work.
All right, Colin's gonna prove me wrong. He's gonna stay on tier 3, roll it down.
I'm not gonna roll it down.
Well, I think you can buy this sort of tempo wise, where if we both have one in the shop, we could play it, right? Like boom, boom.
Wait a minute. Double tier 3, staying on 3 game plan.
Just like
with deflectos.
You would need Golden Wraith, and then Elementals to roll, and then just farm orchestras. If you were to do like tier 3 only.
That sounds like a try it once meme.
Yeah, that sounds like, let's try it at 0 MMR. let's play orchestras game.
Exactly. Yeah. See how good
All right, let's move on, but there's we will try it, guys. We will try it.
Good.
All right, so Doting Director is the next one. It's a tier 3 dragon. It's a 4/3. At the end of your turn, give your teammates minions +1 attack. What do you think about this?
What do you think about this?
I think it's great.
Okay.
I
feel like I would just play catch. Personally, I'd rather just play a catch.
Well, you have to keep in mind that this is it's a body, right?
Sure.
You could both have one, and then both your boards get buffed.
Yeah, but I catch pass +9. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, the issue I have with that is, like, I think catch is good. Don't get me wrong. We'll get to catch in just a moment, but catch is in the body, and early on bodies do matter. So I think if you don't have a full board yet, it's a lot weaker.
Sure. Okay. I mean, I guess if you're using this to fill your board.
Yeah, that would be the assumption.
Yeah.
Or maybe an upgrade.
I get a full board, and I'm just like, okay, I'd rather plus my minions +12, like,
sure,
instead of waiting 12 turns for this.
All right, well, let's do Portal in a bottle and then get the catch, and we'll catch up. All right, you do Portal.
Yeah, so Portal is Madame Goya's ability, passing on golden minion for 2 gold, same cost, so has the same benefits of that. That was kind of why I was like, is Madame Goya necessary if you can just buy Madame Goya's ability at will for the same cost? Maybe just having it every turn is worth it, but it is. Madame Goya does have a good ability, so I do feel like Port in a Bottle is going to be useful, going to be strong.
Yeah, it's just solid. It's fine. It's good economy. It's good curve fixer. Yeah, sure. And then catch is the card that's honestly the most interesting here. Maybe not the strongest. Could very well be the strongest, but
could be. Honestly, it wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Okay. So the effect is give your minions +3 attack, but it upgrades for 3 after it is passed. My assumption is that this stacks indefinitely, where you can go 3, 6, 9.
Oh man, if it only capped at 6, that would be. I see what you're saying, but I would assume it stacks indefinitely. Yes.
Yeah, there's no clarification either way, right? Like no limit, or you can do it more than once. My assumption is also that it goes 6, 9, 12.
Yeah, me too.
I think this is really good because you while it does cost extra gold to pass, you can set that up pretty well where you oftentimes just have 1 or 2 gold at the end of your turn that you would roll away anyway. Or that you just desperately try to make use of, right? Like, oh, I guess I'll cycle the bacon, right? Because otherwise I don't do anything with my gold. And, catch is going to be a good way to spend that gold.
And I would pay 5 gold to give my minions 12 attack. At times, not like it, and it's not like I'm paying 5. I'm paying
Yeah, my teammate's paying half the bill. Let's go.
It to me, this is one of the cards I feel like could get a nerf. And I didn't really have that kind of instinct with a lot of these cards that we talked about, but this is the one where I look at it and I'm like, I could see this being nerfed.
That's true. This is probably getting nerfed. If it's pass indefinitely, it's very likely getting nerfed. Just because there's going to be certain boards where this is really dumb. The Deflecto board is the one that comes to mind where you just buy this in the mid game where you're like, I'm just picking this up and like, hey, just pass this whatever you can, and then I'll cash it in, 2 turns later, and I'll be Giga Attack.
When teams are buying catch and spending most of their turn just passing it back and forth, that's when like, okay.
It's too much, yeah.
Yeah, like plus 50 to all your Deflecto minions. Is that maybe we turn that? maybe
that's too much.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my thought. It's like one of the only cards I saw. I'm like, ooh, I could see this being nerfed, which to me seems like that means it's pretty good.
All right, yeah, no, similar thoughts. You want to do the next 2?
Yeah, we got Puddle Prancer. Puddle Prancer. After this pass, you gain +3/+3. This is a Madame Goya card. To me, but yeah, it seems good if you can pass it, but it does feel expensive, like comparative to like catch, like I compare it, like catch +3 attack, everything is like that's really good. Get +3/3 early game seems good, but I'm not sure how likely you're really going to be using this like after the early to mid game.
I think it's really a bit of a curve fixer where you have 4 gold left and you're just like, oh, I'll just do like Prancer pass, and then you have a slaughter. Oh, you have a base skill, nice. I'll just Prancer pass, and then you can summon a 6/6.
See, so I'd say is like, hey, I'd be like, hey, Shitty, how much gold do you have left? I'm not like it's not. I have 4 gold. It's like, hey, Shitty, do you have 4 or 5 gold left? He's like, yeah, I can make it work. Like, and I'd be like, okay, passes it to me twice.
Right. Yeah, I do think that it's not a good card if you can spend the gold in a meaningful other way. But again, if you have free passes like the Cho, nice, right? Especially if you already have the Murloc that pulls a Murloc from hand, because then it just grows every round, just low cost.
We both need it, like,
well,
or I guess
one person could technically pay the 1 gold to pass it back to get the 6/6 perma.
Right.
You could do that. You could do that 8 gold, 9 gold, maybe. Right after that, you would stop. But 8, 9 gold, that's still okay. You gain 6/6 for a gold. So
yeah, if you have the minion, the Murloc that summons from your hand, then I can see this being pretty good.
All right. Next up.
Thunderpal. At the start of your turn, you and your teammate each gain 1 gold. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
I love free money.
2 of these each. Money. Oh.
Money. Yeah.
Now that's a YouTube thumbnail. Just like, Plunder Pals. Let's go.
Yeah. Go straight to 3 double plunder. I'm down.
3 on 3 double plunder. Let's go, baby.
Double plunder, yeah. That's
I love money. How did you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So something like Plunder Pal makes it more likely that you'll have the extra gold, for instance, for Prancer, because this doesn't give you a coin, right? You do have to spend the gold that turn, which does incentivize something like, oh, now I have this weird gold amount for my curve. I guess I'll pass with that 1 leftover gold instead of just roll 1 more.
You know what's interesting? Like maybe like turn 3, someone buys the give a gold coin, and then the teammate just like, okay, I'll just use the coin level.
right.
Go
3 on 3.
Yeah. Could see that happening, stuff like that.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage though, right? Because that's incoming. Because I think you do take
That
You're both boards worth of damage, right? So the other guy needs to have some shit to kill the first board.
yeah. The one thing is like a lot of the 3 drops aren't very tempo, right? Orchestra, no. Doting, no.
Yeah, yeah. Plunder Pal isn't
Prancer
gonna.
maybe, but it's costly, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's the issue.
It feels like preserving the HP is probably gonna be better than 3-on-3, but it'll be something to try for sure.
Yeah,
We'll
it
try all
depends on
kinds of
what
stuff.
minion types are in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pirates in, let's go, baby.
Pirates in, yeah.
All right.
AFK hitting this.
Two of
Yeah, that means
those.
you have to play
Bam.
AFK. Yeah. I mean, maybe if you're playing AFK, might want to do that. 4 has a lot of cards being added.
Yeah, 4's got 6 cards.
Yeah.
So the first one is Magnamus. It's a Death Rattle beast. It's a 5/2. When it dies, you summon a minion from your teammate's warband, but it only has 1 HP.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the way how I rated this card was it's probably going to be good in some way, but I don't really want to spend the effort figuring it out right now. So I'll just let someone break the game with it, and then I'll copy that strategy.
It's probably good in Death Rattle comps. Like your opponent's playing like a heavy Death Rattle comp. Like
yeah,
if they keep
your
Death
teammate,
Rattles,
your
that's
teammate,
something.
not your opponent.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. By opponent, I mean teammate. Just
yes,
just keep that.
I translate. That's fine.
Yeah. But if, like, for example, that Death Rattle that scales based on how many beasts you've killed, right? Like if your opponent is running like 2 copies of that, this might be something that you could just run and say, oh yeah, I gained that. Also, this is probably good if your opponent's running tech, right? So let's say you have like Leroy or those type of cards, right? You could just say, okay, I'll run 2 Leroys plus this. Like, you know what I mean? Like let's increase the chances of full scamming your opponent. So I think there's probably some use cases of it. It's just like feels like a late game card than something you'd play on 4, unless like that's just good tempo. Like, oh, I'll just get 2 cards, but I don't feel like on a 4-drop that's good tempo. So it feels more like a tech late game.
Yeah,
tech. Yeah.
There's definitely some stuff you can do.
Leroy Copium. I don't know. Like, I know Leroy's not in the game, but I'm just like, that's the example. There's other type of cards.
Matador, Leroy, Queen, basically all the cards that don't really need health to do something.
Yeah.
What else would be really sick with this? Yeah, Coiler.
Things with Reborn, right? Like, as
well. Would it be an exact copy? Would it keep Reborn?
Said summon a copy of a minion, right? So
yeah,
but it keeps the attack and stuff. Right? That's why they set the health to 1. Otherwise,
Yeah, but I mean, if it would summon, I don't know, something with base health 8 or something, that's still pretty good. I don't know, actually. If it would...
My guess is it keeps the attack and enchantments.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll
figure it
out. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Next one, I actually caught your review of this Feisty Freshwater, so I'll give you mine first. I think that it's this card. What I immediately thought about is how long can I keep this? Like, how long would it make sense to keep this? Because I think it is nice to just buy when you're on tier 4, because the stat line is good enough to justify upgrading. Right, so you have a droplet on your board from Elemental, you just sell that and put a 6/4 down, and then next turn you guys can start rolling. I was just thinking, how long would I want to keep this? So yeah,
until you get something better. Like there are games where I just keep like a trash minion, like just because it fits the curve. So this be my trash minion. Well, not really, because you need a space. So this isn't really gonna be it. But I mean, it might just depend on what comp you're playing. If you end up playing things that can take advantage of rolls, and honestly, like if you're both gonna roll, it's 4 gold a turn. Like, technically, like it's not really true, but technically.
Yeah, that's what I mean with those like vouchers, right? Where like, yeah, it's like 4 gold, but yeah, but it's true at that stage. Let's say if Elise is still in the game, right? That suddenly is a huge upgrade where then you're definitely gonna want to be rolling.
I don't know if Elise should be in the game. To be fair, like, hopefully they change some stuff. But yeah, definitely. To me, seems useful on 4. Or if you're just gonna be rolling a lot, there are some comps that just roll a lot. Just getting
Yeah.
to go
I'm
4
I'm
gold.
not 100% sold on the card yet, just because
Mm.
you know there are definitely turns where you would not really have rolled, and you're kind of just like spending the money because you can.
Because you can, yeah.
Yeah, you're just like rolling because you have them. All
Yeah.
right. Anyways,
Um,
yeah, we'll see.
and I'm
It's
slightly lower on death rattles once again, so yeah.
yeah, the one shot potential becomes more likely when we're at this stage, but still, that's like how much work have you done? That's what is
The
that
question is, how
turn?
much work have you not done?
Like
How
you
much?
you
How
just
much?
mean opponents, like
Yeah.
how much slack do your opponents have? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have Manari Messenger, Tier 4 Demon, Battlecry. Minions in your team's taverns have +2/+1 this game.
I gotta be honest, I love buffing both players. Like that's just fun to me. Like here's free stuff that you weren't expecting. Like yeah. The question is like, are you actually gonna use this? You know, I don't know, but I want it to be good.
Yeah, again, right? If Rylak stays, this is really good. You just have this next to
You're
Reborn
such a
Rylak.
Rylak abuser. I hope they remove the card.
I mean, have you played the meta recently? It's like
I don't want to have to deal with you need Rylak Collins.
the
What are you
first.
doing? This isn't a Rylak.
Like, did you just roll past the Rylak? What the fuck? No, I need that. I need that, bro.
Yeah, I just oh my god,
Yeah.
I can hear it.
I think they.
Yeah.
I mean, when I play right now, I do
Mhm.
check when beasts are in. That's the first thing I look at. What can I Rylak? Like,
Right.
is Shell Collector in? Right? Can I have that maybe as a triple and then have that? Because with Rylak, the thing for me is like you need to have an excuse to buy it, right? So if you have a battle cries on your board, you can fit it into your board and it does something, and then you can
Right.
build around it later. So
Right.
yeah, I mean this will be really nice if Rylak stays and you can set that up. So
Yeah.
all right, you want to do the bottom 3?
Yeah. Next up, we have Storm Splitter. So this is a 5/5. Once per turn after you pass a tavern spell, you get a new copy of it. So if you spend the 1 gold to give it to your teammate, then you're also going to get that once per turn. So, I mean, situational. It depends on the tavern spells. I don't know if you have like super expensive tower spells. Like I feel like if you're doing it for like a 1 cost spell, a lot of times it's not that worth. But maybe once you get to like 3 cost or more, it might feel reasonable. So
This to me looks really good. Just because this is what happens in my mind, right?
okay, yeah.
I have a golden touch. I pass that to you.
Okay, well, okay.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean,
Step 1.
getting a golden touch is not the hardest thing in the world, Collins. Just getting
right,
one, right?
right.
Like, but look what happens now. I have 1 golden touch in my hand. I pass that to you. I now get a new golden touch. I don't use it. I hold it. Next turn, I pass that same golden touch. You now get another golden touch. Like you get 1 golden touch per turn.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
I see what you're saying. If you have a good, I guess that's true. If you have a good,
You just
card
need
to
1, right?
pass,
You just keep holding
need
it.
1, yeah. And you just hold it forever. Yeah, I can see this. Yeah, I can see this getting burned.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think it's good. I think it's really good.
You've convinced me because there's no text to prevent abuse. Is the issue?
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
there's nothing to make it reasonable. It's not like once per turn after you play a tavern spell, max 3 goals or something.
Like if you both have 1, like what is this, right? Like
yeah, you
hey,
both
I
have
have
a Storm Splitter, golden touch for you.
Yeah.
No, my good friend, a golden touch for you.
yeah, like what is that? Like
And it says once per turn, but if you have 2 on the board, would you get 2? I guess.
I assume so. Yeah, right.
I'll have now 2 golden touches for you, my friend.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm thinking catch.
this, yeah, right? You're like, ooh, give me catch. If it keeps the buffs, that'd be insane, right?
It should, right? You get a copy of it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You've convinced me. My opinion of this is raised.
So when I looked at this, I was like, I don't know if this makes it past the first few days. This seems a bit silly. Because it's gonna, like, if you actually play Nagas and you can buff this, you can just keep it on your board and it's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So I'm assuming what they're gonna do is they're gonna put a limit on like 3 gold. Like you can't pass above 3 gold. Like you can't copy something that costs 4 gold or more. Because
I mean, that's like the whole point, no?
Yeah. But I mean, it's okay to like feed your teammates. What is this? What's like okay on 3, or let's say 4 golds, right?
Like
let's say up to 4.
Like a 15 attack catch.
Yeah. But that's already getting nerfed probably, right? So, but if we're talking.
Right.
If we're talking, let's say 4, right? Let's say not above 4. You could do like a telescope. That's reasonable. Like here, have a free telescope. That's like, oh, that's nice. I get to discover a minion of my type. That's a nice boost to get. Getting an extra golden touch, getting an extra shield, getting a Hamul, right? Getting a 2020, getting a mutinous. This is like insane.
2020 is 2 gold. So, oh, you
sure.
mean Tavern 3? Tavern 3. Oh, okay, yeah, got you.
Yeah. But I guess for cost, yeah, we could also do cost.
Tavern's like a better, like it's a stronger nerf, yeah, compared to cost.
But maybe it doesn't make. Well, we're already like, we don't need to do the work for them. It's fine. Let them figure it out.
Yeah, let them figure it out. I agree with you. And we haven't even tried it.
Oh, so Boar's in the chat. Hey, Boar, you can help us. Floop, does Floop copy enchantments during the?
It should.
Yeah, we thought it would. Beater was like, no shot. There's no way it copies enchantments because that would be broken. So for those of you who don't know, Boar is one of the designers on the
it's one of the
Hearthstone.
OGs.
Yeah, I mean, Boar Control used to be an F2K with us, right? Those the good old years. Floop copies enchantments. There you go. All right, Beater is going to work on day 1. Here's you go. We were like, why would I pick this hero if it doesn't, right? But okay. Also, Storm Splitter, we already theorized, is probably not making it past week 1. What's stopping me from giving my teammate the golden touch every turn, Boar? This seems really good. Yeah, this seems really good. All right, let's move on. Mirror Monster. Oh no, you were gonna do these two.
Yeah. Mirror Monster 4/4. When you discover or buy this, you get an extra copy and pass it. So it's also an amalgam.
Amalgam.
So right. Amalgam. Yeah, I feel like you just buy this all the time. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a triple machine.
Yeah.
Right. So you buy this.
You just need two, right?
Yeah.
You buy one, right? You buy one and you have your set.
Like you want 3 and then you both have a triple. Right. That's the best one.
Sure.
But yeah, once you buy
force a triple.
Yeah, once you buy the second one, you can just pass and be like, "Oh, here's a triple. You take the triple."
Yeah.
It's yeah.
That just seems like
it's good.
You know, like you always buy this because you buy one, you both can play it or whatever. Then you buy the second one, the opponent gets one, you pass the other one, you're good. Like so, to me it just seems like you always get it because you want the triples at least early. I don't see how this isn't messed up.
It seems good for sure. It does seem like an auto buy, right? It's just it just opens up opportunities. And because it's an amalgam, it's a bit easier to fit. Now, I can see boards where you're like not really excited to put a 4/4 down, so you are spending 3 gold to hold it in your hand, and then your teammate might not want to play it either. So
I do that anyways.
Those are the turns where it is like that's a hit, right? That's a hit to your turn. Let's say it's the 9 gold turn, it's the 8 gold turn. You buy this thing. Oh, sorry, it's the 9 gold turn, it's the 10 gold turn. You buy this thing, and it's like, okay, now I have 6 gold left to do stuff. And if I don't roll a second Mirror Monster that turn, it's you do take a big hit.
Yeah, to me, it's like if you already have direction that you don't want this, but you already have direction, right? But if you're still searching for direction, then it's like, yeah, this gives me a chance to get direction. It's a lot cheaper than some of the other options. I'm gonna get it. And once again, it's 1 gold, like technically, you buy, you get 2 cards, you sell both, right? Like, it's not a big investment to me, to open up this potential to win. Like, that's something that, I see players do. Like they'll they'll spend like 3 gold here to set up like a broken combo later on, right? But it might take like 3-4 turns to get them. But then as soon as they get it, they're like, oh, we win, right? So this just seems like that type of card where, yeah, you're spending that 3 gold, but like you open up the triple, and then like that can give you the avenue to find a way to win.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No, I agree. I think it is good. I think you are, like, especially at the start of the meta, I'm buying every single one of these, and then we'll see. We'll go from there.
Yeah, well, yeah, you adjust after you have a richer game plan, but right now we don't have that. So.
Yep. All right, and then last on tier 4.
Grave Narrator. So this card is a 2/7 Avenge 3. Your teammate gets a random minion of their most common type. Reminds you of anything?
Yeah. Nest Matron.
Reminds you of any broken combination card that we have abused to high heavens? No, nothing. I just feels like one of those cards, and it has 7 health now. Like, it's even better than before.
It has a type. It has a type.
Yeah.
Right, so you can fit it in an undead comp. It can actually stay, right? Nest Matron was sort of like, okay, just keep it, but it doesn't go anywhere, right? This guy could stay, could legit stay.
Seems problematic to me. Like, there's half of these cards hit my problematic level.
Well,
honestly,
undead needed. Undead are not good right now. So
sure, but are you really playing this for the undead? Like.
Yeah, but if it's not an undead, then it is more like Nest Matron, right? That's what I mean. Where the reason why it's strong I think it's good, right? If it didn't have a type, it's good. But the reason why it's strong is you can actually keep it on your board, and it's just so synergistic, because if you play undead, you have things that make more things, and they have taunts, and they have a way to buff attack. So this thing, instead of a 2/7, it'll be a 4/7, and then it's a 6/7 and all that. And it's generally going to be well protected, so it's going to go off once, maybe twice, sometimes 3 times if you have a really good fight. So that feeds a lot of economy to your opponent, to your teammates.
I'm sorry.
No. It's normal, because you're not your mouth is used to saying your opponent, right? It doesn't say your teammate in this game. You don't have a teammate, right? Not yet. And you don't even need to play undead for this to work, right? Your teammate could be dragons, murlocs, beasts. Like, you don't need that synergy.
Yeah, that's why I think it's problematic, because it's like, okay, we play and I give you 5 dragons. Like, what? Like, okay, thank you. Like, what is this? Like, I'm just getting everything I need while from you while you're doing nothing. I guess you're having the downside of playing an undead comp, right? Of course. Like, I'm so sorry.
My condolences, right? You're playing. But this is a good point that you bring up, where what you can do is, in the early game, one of the 2 players is probably going to have a little bit more of a token-esque setup, where you start, like, let's say in the current meta, it would be Mana Saber with Turtle, or it would be Death Swarmer with a Risen Rider.
We're forcing this.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been saying. Like, I think if undead are in, one person leans towards having tokens on the board, and then when either of you guys roll a Grave Narrator, if the person without the tokens hits it, it just passes it and be like, feed me, baby. Oh, put those Mana Sabers to good use, right? Like, use them Mana Sabers.
We're going double undead. I can see it already. I just I'll feed both of us. Like, I'll take 7 undeads. Hell, Grave Narrator triple. Thank you very much, sir. Like.
Golden Grave Narrator. I can't hold all these minions. My hand is full. That's another thing. If your hand is full, I guess the portal's closed, or does it just go to waste? I feel like it'd probably go to waste, right? I don't.
Yeah, I guess so.
It'd be funny if your teammate has 10 cards. No, the portal just close. Or maybe if they're lenient about this, it's like Spellcraft, where you pass and then it's in the buffer. Like, right now, Spellcraft goes into the buffer. That's actually a good question. If Boar is still here, I'd like to know that. Did you guys play around with that to be forgiving for the full hand?
They're not like that. Forgiving to our players.
No. It's Spellcraft. It enters a queue. Yeah, there we go. That's fantastic. I love that. I still have that, it's so heartbreaking when I have Ticketus and it doesn't do that. It's entirely my own fault. I know the prize is coming.
No, it's not. I'm playing I'm playing Cold Wars, and that means I can't play my Ticketus hero power. Like, get me out of here. What is? It's not my fault. I don't agree.
Well, no. Honestly, like if you watch Chief, like he'll just sell like
everything.
He'll sell like a golden Murkai because it would fill his hand and he was gonna miss a buddy and he's like, fuck this, I'll play a regular Murkai. So you can calculate it, right? But I don't, so I miss my price.
I don't agree with I don't agree with that. I don't like that.
Oh man. All right, let's go up to the next tier. This is great. Okay. We got tier 5. So we only got a few left, right? Oh, but this one is super fun. So I wanted to get your take on this one, and then I'll tell you mine. So support system is a tier 5 mech. It's a 4/5. At the end of your turn, give a minion in your teammate's warband Divine Shield.
How is this not auto buy? Like I'm giving you get all the shields, man. What is this? It's for free.
It's free. Well, it's a 4/5, but yeah, I do. Yeah. I like it a lot. I think it's good.
Yeah, I'm buying it. Well, you're buying it.
Well, this is what I had in mind on my. This is the scenario I was talking about on my stream, right? So what I can completely see happening, right, is one player. So every time in my fantasy, I'm infinite, right? By the way, so you might have noticed I'm always infinite. so as I do, I get double Tethys, and I am infinite. And I'm just like, you know what, Collins? I'm going to buy you a Dracari and a support system. Just put that on your board. We're not going to lose. My Cleave has got us covered. We're not going to lose. But shield my board, please. Could you keep this on your board for like 2 rounds and just shield on my guys? Thank you. That'd be appreciated.
Damn, it's like that, huh?
That's brutal, right?
And I'm like, okay, well, hear me out. You play Well Wisher, you give me your Tethys. Thank you.
Oh, man.
But I see it. I definitely think it's something you want to give your whoever's doing super well. Just give them divine shields, like And you also, like, if you're playing duos, you have to be aware that your opponent's gonna have divine shield late in the game. Like, so you bumpers are pretty much gonna be mandatory, probably if mechs are in. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Now the thing with this is that you do need to communicate, and your teammate might play 5 or 6 minions on the board. Right, where normally you end on your buffer, but you would sell that like a jug, right? You don't want to guarantee it. You don't want a jug taking the buff, right? So it would be a little bit tricky to set up. So if it happens organically, that's fine. But otherwise, I think you do need like it might be too slow at certain points in the game. Excuse me.
No, when I'm buying it, just have 2 of them. Like, how slow can it be? Like, it is also a minion type. Like, you can buff it.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Magnetics, buffs, and all that. Excuse me. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
All right. So the other one, I think, is also just. Well, I'm gonna let you do it. I'm gonna cough it out, Collins. I'm gonna let you cover all the shit.
Next one, Well Wisher Spellcraft. You pass a different non-golden minion, so it's basically the Spellcraft Madame Goya once again, right? So this is kind of why, like, you have a lot of options of getting Madame Goya's ability, but Madame Goya is pretty good. So being able to get this once per turn can be pretty powerful in being able to swap things. And very nice is that you can pass a minion already on your board. So let's say you have you already have a good setup, things like that. The minions you buy get plus 200. Well, you can just pass it to your opponent if you want to do that way. So it just seems like something good. The issue is, like, it doesn't have a type, so it might be hard to keep for an extended period of time. But just getting, like, even 1 proc might be worth it. It's essentially that the spellcraft, like, for instead of paying 2 gold, you're paying 3 gold, but you can sell this. So it's you would buy that card, so you'd probably buy this card too.
Yeah. I think this one is really, really good.
Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, it's good that it doesn't have a type. It'd be so dumb if this was a Naga, and you could keep it on your board playing Nagas, just wee. Yeah. Just have like 2 of these and then the triples. I was like, oh my god.
It's interesting. Oh, okay. Why is the golden one? Oh, never mind. Okay. There's no golden one.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
if you have a golden well-wisher, I'm assuming you just get the golden spell, which is still just pass a
the
non-golden.
same thing. Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
same thing. Yeah.
it's like the golden glow scale. It's like, yeah, sure. But that'd be dumb, right? If you get two shields. Same thing with SCB, super dumb if you get two.
Gain a super shield, like
Gain a mega shield, yeah.
yeah.
This shield needs 2 hits to break. Alright. Write that down. All right.
I don't think so.
Delete it.
Maybe a mech, like a mech with that ability.
A mech with
like,
a mega shield.
Yeah, like that. That's the only way I'm like, okay, I guess. Yeah, why not? Whatever.
I suppose. All right.
Yeah, seems very good.
And that was our tier 5. There's no tier 6 duo minions are announced, but we do have a tier 7 Sandy, and this speaks volumes to how good Sandy is, because this was a tier 6 in the playtest, I think.
Yeah, it was a tier 6. Everyone used it, and it was broken. But now it's a tier 7. Though I will say, like, tier 7 is not something you're going to be seeing a lot, because I believe only the hero can do it. That one hero.
Thorin.
Yeah.
Well, in the future, we might see like anomalies in duos, and tier 7 anomaly comes back or something.
Yeah, maybe. But for now, like, that seems to be the only way to get Sandy. So it's not something you should really think about too much.
No, but you should pick it when you get Thorin.
yeah, sure.
It's a good minion. Yeah. Start of combat, transform into a copy of your teammate's highest health minion. So this is really the Floop, but way less restrictive, right? Or Gloop. I call him Floop, but Gloop is the highest tier minion, whereas with Sandy, you're copying highest health. And if we're wanting combat prowess, right, then we are by default, looking at the high stat minions, and it's so much easier to change the health of a minion than to change the tiers of the minion. So yeah, Sandy does that beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, it does, like, kind of show, like, maybe Floop is good if you just, like, force it. Like, I am going to force that my teammate has this gigantic tier 6 minion. Like, you will have it, Shady, with Divine Shield on top. Like,
keep buffing it. Let's go. Yeah. I mean, you could throw a shit ton of Dragon Roars on it or something. Like, what I did on my stream is I said, in Battlegrounds, if you want to make one big guy, that's not hard. Like, it's actually not it's not that hard to make one big guy. That's sort of the high level play. You see this a lot, where people make one or maybe two big guys, and then the rest is Queen, Matador, just poison bullshit.
Yeah, just
like there were whole metas where the whole goal was just get a Mithrax early to scale it up, and then the rest is just Sephin. And those two cards
that was your meta.
I love that shit. I was so good at that. Yeah. Yeah, you were playing respectable stat comps. That's fair. Yeah. You were, I did not want to. You don't want to associate with that. All right, I think that's it, guys. Those are the duo heroes and minions that have been announced. And
if only we could wait 9 minutes.
There is going to be the this is going to be open on the 16th, right? I don't know the hour, but the 6th,
something like that.
The 16th, this will be live. So that's 10 days. Let's see, what is this? Yeah,
for me it's 11 days.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the 5th, right? So 11 days, but still less than 2 weeks. That is not a long time.
That's great. Yeah.
That's great.
Though they did say, it's coming out what is it, first quarter? Here we go. Like,
no, they said early, and we made that into first quarter. They said early, but I mean, Blizzard is good at, if they don't have to be specific, they're not going to be. So they said early, and I think for something to qualify as early, it would officially not be early if it was in the second half of the year. So they made it.
They really went as late as they could.
No. That's what it's April, right? So that would have been June, right? Like
Sure,
middle
Shady.
of
Why are you
June.
being so lenient?
Yeah, middle of June. I don't know. I think I'd like try to be fair.
Fair.
What are your
Whatever.
opinions on Cho and Gall? Good, strong.
Yeah.
So if you missed
Yeah.
the start of the, I mean, you wouldn't miss the start of a podcast, you just go back. But if you missed the start of the stream, Cho and Gall feel really good for the simple reason, like you can just take one triple on 7 gold, and then you both have a 4 drop, and then not lose. And then you can probably set up another triple on 9 gold with one person going to 5, one person staying on 4. Slam the triple, get a 6 drop, get a 5 drop. You don't lose again because you're strong. Then the person on 5 can get stronger. The person that was on 4 can go to 5. And it's just, it seems so clean. It seems so, like, it just seems very nice.
And what's also nice is that you get double the chance of hitting like that key piece to scale off of. Because sometimes you go to 6, you got a triple, it's like, oh, I didn't get it. But if you have double the chance, so like someone hits some comp and that you can kind of focus on that, like keep that going. So seems pretty solid.
Yeah. So Beater's concern is that it's going to be a bit inconsistent with 6 armor, but yeah, I mean, I still think it's
my
good.
concern as well.
Yeah. I mean, you can have a bad Gallywix game, right? It doesn't mean Galley is bad, so yeah. But obviously
Playing
Gallywix.
Galley and duos, like come on.
Oh my god, Galley and duos.
slow.
Let's pop.
So slow, like 6 armor, you die. You know, like he says sarcastically.
I think you're gonna get pretty. So there's a question in chat asking about if there needs to be a chat feature. I think you're gonna get pretty good at using the pings, right? So there's gonna be emotes and pings you can use to communicate. I think it's gonna be maybe a little bit weird at the start, but you'd be surprised how. I mean, people right now sort of communicate with just the standard emotes, right? Like, hey, do you want to level? No, I can't. Screw you. It's like you can already kind of talk.
So if you know the player, you can chat with them, right? Because you can just talk to them through the friends list. The question is if you're playing like solos or
this
like
is for like a random.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be like here's a chat with your teammate feature. I think you're just going to have to rely on the emotes. So that is something, if you are playing by yourself with a teammate, you might have to get good at, or maybe they'll be like, oh yeah, this is how we communicate. But obviously I think it's going to be easier to just talk to the person if you know them, or
yeah, of course. If you can sit on voice, of course, always.
What you do is you play until you get like that one teammate that's just like on your level, and then you add them, and then you're like, hey, let's play.
For sure. No, I think that's the move. I think you solo queue, and then you have that game, and then you were both on point, and you add each other, and you're like, hey man, let's hang out, let's queue together. Yeah, for sure. I think if you don't have a teammate, that's the move.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, Collins, I think we can wrap up here then. I mean, unless you just want to chat about something else, that's fine.
We're good. We've covered.
No, I mean, I feel like cut you off. I thought you were gonna bring something up. Now I feel bad.
No.
Then you get married. Yeah, that's the dream story, Donnie. That's the dream story. I mean, you hear that, right? People that met through WoW, like in the same raiding guild and stuff, and they got married.
Yeah. It could happen. Could happen to you.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, there'll be a separate elo for duos. So
yeah.
When it comes out, everyone's gonna be the same elo. So that's gonna be pretty interesting, because like it's gonna be fun for some, and maybe not as fun.
I wonder how. I feel like with how many players will play a lot, I honestly don't feel like it'll be that bad after the first few hours. I think after the first few hours,
there's going to be people that are coming for the first time for like the next like 3 days, like after it comes out. People are gonna, you're gonna have people just coming in. So I feel like it will be.
What do you mean coming in?
Like, I don't think it comes out and everyone that's ever going to be playing is just going to be playing like Hour 1, right? I feel like you will have new people coming in consistently.
Yeah. So I guess, sorry, what I wanted to say is, I guess we would play the day after, right? Or because I think it probably releases when we're going to be sleeping.
I see what you're saying.
I think so. So for us, it's going to be different. But I think if you play on release, for most high level players, after a few hours, I feel like they're going to be matched okay because
Oh, yeah.
the other people are
Yeah, for
pushing ahead,
sure.
right? Yeah.
But I'm saying
But
like the
we're not.
first hours. Yeah. The first hours are gonna be.
First
Yeah.
hours are, yeah, questionable matchmaking.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, not questionable, but it has to be done, right? Essentially, you just have to chop. You have to chop your way through all the noobs. It's jungle of noobs. Get out of the way. All right.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's sort of the only time you can do, because I remember like back in, oh man, how long is this ago? Maybe nearly a decade, where, well, I guess people still do this, but to a lesser extent. But you used to have a lot of this like bronze to diamond challenges in League of Legends.
People still do it. People still do it.
Yeah, but I don't think you can start bronze where
they force it.
they
like
do
lose on
anyway.
purpose.
Yeah, I feel like you
Yeah.
get banned for that, though, right?
You would think, right? You would think they would. But no.
Right, because
No, they don't.
there's definitely a difference between unranked and bronze, right? Like you play unranked and you do all your placements, you start like mid gold or something, I think, right? If you're just like kill. But like starting proper bronze versus starting mid level, that's a huge difference, and that's similar when, I guess, when there's new ranking, it's not proper bronze. You don't really play against people that are lower than 4K internal, because you start at 4K internal. I mean, assuming it's the same system, which I assume it is, you don't really start at 0. 0 is your external. You start at 4,000 internal, and then, you know, I don't know if Boar's still here and if he is allowed to talk about it or whatever, but at least from what I remember, that's roughly how it worked. Now, I don't think it's ever been like properly confirmed, but it feels like that, because obviously you climb way too fast to actually have 0 internal, right? Because you start at 0, you get 300. So
Yeah.
anyways, whatever.
Which is nice. Feels nice. So.
It's a small thing. Whatever.
Yeah, so they're asking if I'm going to be in your time zone or will they be balanced. I don't really want to change Shady's schedule too much, right? He's got a good thing going. Why would I mess with that? So I'll try to gravitate towards his is the current plan.
Yeah, the current idea is for Collins to be very, very gracious and essentially say, "Hey, I'll basically wake up with you, and then we'll go play together."
We'll go from there. Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out. All right, cool.
All right. Yep.
Good stuff. Want to send us off?
Oh yeah, right. There's a thing.
We're rusty. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us and all that good stuff. You know where to find us. Tune in on April 15/16th when DUOS comes out. Should be super fun. Should have a great time, and we'll catch you in the next one where we'll have a lot of opinions.
Oh yeah, lots to talk about for the next one. All right, see you guys. Have a good time, everyone.
Take care.